Hello everybody and welcome to the second episode of our brand new Shot to Nothing YouTube channel. So yesterday was the conclusion to 2016 Championship League Snooker. It's been an event that spanned nearly 2 months. It actually began before the Masters at the turn of the year. Like I say, it's 7 qualifying groups, 27 different players, an invitational event. Not everybody's cup of tea, unfortunately. It's live streamed behind closed doors, best of 5s. As far as I'm concerned, though, it's snooker on our screens, about a laptop, not the TV. Snooker on our screens, that's what players and fans wanted 5-6 years ago. More events, more things to talk about. And you get to see a lot of snooker over a very short amount of time. So if you've got a day off work or an evening off or anything like that, you can watch a lot of games on the live stream. So as far as I'm concerned, in my estimate, that's a good thing. Congratulations to Judd Trump. Judd Trump won the event. Third time he's actually won the event, so a hat-trick of Championship League titles for Judd. Won it in 2009 and 2014. Quite a big win for him, actually, really, even though it's a fairly obscure, unique event. First trophy of the season. Qualifies him for the Champions of Champions at the end of the year as well, where there's a big prize fund, 100 grand for the winner. One table set up on TV, ITV4. So it's something you can relax. He knows he's qualified for the event. Quite a lot of the big names haven't already qualified. Yes, there's quite a few events until then, but perhaps that will give Judd a little bit of confidence going into next week for the World Grand Prix and another title that he currently holds. He's going to be trying to defend that title in North Wales next week. The round robin, very, very close. Ronnie O'Sullivan finished top of the group, won his first 5 games to actually extend his incredible run in 2016 to 24 matches. That's over 3 events. He obviously won Masters and he won the Welsh Open and he won Group 1 in Championship League Snooker 2. But Mark Williams stopped the streak. Very last group game of the format. Mark Williams beat him 3-0. For Ronnie, though, Ronnie was already through in top spot, so perhaps it might be one of those situations where Ronnie perhaps wasn't motivated. We know that he needs something challenging to get him going and everything. He knew he was already through, so perhaps the impetus wasn't there for his previous fixtures. Mark, though, it was a massive game. He had to win that match to actually qualify. If he lost that game, he would have gone all the way down to 5th outside the top 4 spots because he had an inferior frame difference to the other players around him. But like I say, he got the job done, won 3-0. He went through in second on 4 points. The remainder of the group was really close. Judd Trump, Matt Stout, Ali Carter. It was between them 3 for the remaining 2 places. Judd Trump went through in 3rd, courtesy because he'd won 1 more frame the other 2. And Ali Carter was only eliminated in 5th because he'd lost 1 more frame than Matt Stout. So you really had to get the rule book out and check what was what. Ali can count himself pretty unlucky as well because you probably would have expected Ronnie to beat Mark. So there was a few avenues where Ali perhaps was a little bit unlucky and he might have qualified, make the top 4. In 6th place was Mark Selby. He had a dreadful day on Wednesday. Really bad. The newly crowned Gdynia Open champion. He lost all 4 games, which practically put him out of contention of the event. Mathematically, you could go through. I think somebody on Twitter worked it out, but it wasn't going to happen. He lost all 4 games. Had a great game with Ronnie O'Sullivan actually on the Wednesday. He went 2-0 down, got it back to 2-all, and was on a break of 50 odd in the decider, looking good. Played a great shot off the black off 2 cushions to go into a pack of reds. Unfortunately for him, didn't end up on a red. Forced to play a safety. Ronnie O'Sullivan then played a fantastic safety off a 3 cushions, I think it was, tucked him right up behind one of the colours, snookered him. Mark Selby underhit his snooker, left Ronnie on a red, and Ronnie produced one of his trademark clearances of 70 odd to win the match 3-2. He did, however, restore pride on Thursday, world number 1, won his last 2 games to pick up some more prize money, finished 6th. 7th was Stephen Maguire. He only got 1 win out of 6, so he won't be too happy finishing bottom, but he did well to win one of the qualifying groups, and he picked up some prize money along the way. So not too bad, although he won't be too pleased finishing there. Semi-finals, it was seeded, so it was 1st v 4th, 2nd v 3rd. Ronnie O'Sullivan played Matt Stout. Just a quick thing on Matt Stout. It's the 2nd year in a row he made the winners group, and it's actually 2nd year in a row he made the sort of grand semi-finals too. So it looks like an event that suits him too. It's quite local to him, so maybe that's a factor. I'm not too sure. But Ronnie won that quite comfortably, won 3-0. The other semi-final was a real high-quality affair. It was Judd Trump v Mark Williams, 3rd v 2nd. and Judd Trump just outed it 3-2. But every single frame there was at least half a century. It was really, really good stuff. I'm just reading the breaks here. They traded frames throughout. It went 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2 to Judd. Judd made breaks of 33, 102, 92. And Mark Williams, even though he lost, made breaks of 108 and 89. So that was a really, really high quality affair. And the final then was Ronnie v Judd. No disrespect to anybody else, but two of the biggest draws in the game. It's a match that people really like to see. It's also the fourth time in 17 months that they've played in a final. They played 2014 the UK Championship champions, and only 12 months ago the World Grand Prix, which I said Judd beat Ronnie, and Judd did it again in the final here yesterday at Crondon Park. He beat Ronnie 3-2. Judd won the opening frame. Then Ronnie looked as if he was going to sort of storm to tightly, make consecutive breaks of 1-3-4 and 1-1-9 back to back, go 2-1 up to go within one frame of the title. But fair play to Judd, he really dug in, won the fourth frame, won a close fourth frame to square it up at 2-2, and then he made a match-winning, tournament-winning break at 70-odd in the fifth for the title. So, fair play to Judd. That's really good to come back from 2-1 down. Obviously only short race. Not too sure you can read too much into it. I don't think it's going to affect Ronnie's demeanour. Ronnie's been looking really, really good recently since he's come back at the Masters. But for Judd, it's a confidence booster. Like I say, gets him in the Champions of Champions. Like I say, it's difficult to read into because it's such short races, and it's a different atmosphere with no audience there. It's different when it's live on TV in front of a paying crowd. But I think Judd's sort of one of those characters where he'll feed off that, and I expect him to sort of play well next week in Llandudno. And this is the time of the year that you want to be peaking with only another couple of tournaments before the World Championship, the real big one, and surely that's going to be one of Judd's main things. He's going to be looking at the World Championship and really trying to put in a really, really strong bid to win it and pick up his first World Championship, which I think that most of the snooker community know that he's going to win one day, but every passing year that he doesn't, it's going to get more and more difficult. So he's really going to be tuned up for the World Championships if he can put in a couple of good performances before then. Like I said, I don't think it will affect Ronnie O'Sullivan too much. Ronnie's looked fantastic throughout. He might feel a little bit aggrieved that he didn't win the competition because he's dominated it from start to finish. He entered in Group 1, won Group 1 undefeated, and he's won most of his games here, but unfortunately just lost out in the deciding frame in the final. But I don't think that's going to affect him going into the World Grand Prix next week. He perhaps used the Championship lead initially anyway as a little bit of match practice for the Masters, and a few people were wondering whether or not he'd actually turn up to the finals group, but he did. So, but he banked a little bit of money. It's quite a profitable tournament for the 4 days work. He's picked up just slightly shy of 20 grand, so that'll go into the bank for the Rocket. I'm sure he won't mind that. In terms of the prize money, Judd Trump picked up just over 20 grand, 20 grand and 400. Coincidentally, because of the unique sort of prize bonus system in the Championship League snooker, Mark Williams and Mark Selby actually picked up more money than the champion did, because they actually featured in more groups. Judd and Ronnie both only had to play in one qualifying group, qualified through to the finals, so they didn't have the chance to pick up money. It's a bit like the old Premier League format where you get prizes for frame 1. Back then in the Premier League it was £1,000 for every century you made. In this it's not quite the same, but you got money for various stages in the qualifying group, in the winners group. I mean, the winners group, they picked up £300 for every frame they won. They got into the playoffs, there was prizes for that, there's prizes for the high break of each group. So it can be quite a lucrative event, but it's one of those quirky things where Mark Williams and Selby actually got more money than Judd did, but Judd will have some money obviously coming for the champions. So next snooker, as we say, is Llandudno. The World Grand Prix next week starts on Tuesday, 2-table setup. Judd is the defending champion, beat Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final last year. Going to be live on ITV4, 2-table setup. Best of sevens initially, which people, most of the snooker fraternity would like to see longer games, but best of sevens, you can watch a lot of snooker in a short amount of time. And like I say, that's probably something to do with the TV as well. If you've got a day off, it's a bit like Championship League snooker. You can watch a lot of people, a lot of action in a very short space of time. I'm going to be doing a review about the event over the next couple of days. It's the top 32 players this season in ranking events. So that's the major events and the PTC. So it's a really should be a list of players who are in really good form. But like I say, it's the first weekend actually that the snooker circuit have had off in 6 weeks. I think I was looking at the calendar. They've been everywhere, haven't they? And it's been a really busy time. So I'm sure they'll enjoy their weekend off. But like I say, we're really on the home stretch now with big tournaments. We've got the World Grand Prix, then we've got the Players Championship. They'll be flying out to China. Then you've got the World Championship qualifiers, and then the big one at the Crucible. So really big time of the year. Each of the events remaining big prize money too. So if someone can really sort of get on a good run here, go into the Crucible confident. I know what people are going to say. There's this thing with the China Open. If you win the China Open, you're not going to win the World Championship. But I'm sure people ain't going to turn down winning, I think, 80 grand or 85 grand, what it is for the China Open. But it'll be really interesting things how pan out over the next couple of weeks. Like I say, hopefully I'll do a review over the next couple of days. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you get a chance to subscribe to the channel, that'd be fantastic. I really thank you for that. I'll put a link below as well for my website. It's www.theqview.com. It's my Q Sports blog from various disciplines: amateur, professional, youth, disability, women's Q Sports events. So I'll provide a link below. Again, thanks for your time. Speak to you soon.